Hi, everybody. I'm so glad that you could join us this morning. Thank you so much. My name is Karen Orlowski. I live in Georgia. I am about 40 miles north of Atlanta, and it is going to be crazy today. It's already 57 and it's supposed to get up into the high 60s. So I think already spring is here in February. Anyway, if you haven't already, I'm going to look in the chat in a little bit. How many fruits and veggies should your child be eating every single day? And I know the answer to this, and we're going to find out the answer to this, but I would love for you guys to put where are you from and how many fruits and vegetables do you think that your child should be getting every single day? So I just want to share with you, we're going to talk about a few statistics, a simple way to, an easy way to simplify your family's nutrition. And then at the end, if anybody can stay on, we can even have a conversation and kind of brainstorm with tips and tricks if anybody wants that, and you guys can ask any questions. I also, in an effort, because I know some of you are working and you're stay-at-home moms and you are busy, I'm gonna go through the slides fairly quickly. So if anybody has any specific questions, we can ask them at the end, or if you need more information, we can always provide that afterwards. You can always just ask the person that invited you onto the presentation. So, all right, let's get started. So Dr. David Katz, he is the head of, or he used to be the head of the prevention department in Yale University. And he said, this may be the first generation of children to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. That to me, and the next slide, really hit me hard when I heard that. So even with all the medical technology that we've got, they're not going to live as long as we're expected to live. So by the age of 12, our children have developed beginning stages of the hardening of the arteries. I'll let you guys read, because that statement also, if you have a child and they're older, and I want to say at 10 years old, the doctors start taking blood and they check for cholesterol, because they are now allowed to put kids as young as 8 years old on statin drugs. And I feel like, oh my gosh, it's lifestyle. We need to be doing something about lifestyle, not just putting our kids on statin drugs. And I had a cardiology nurse that was a neighbor in Fort Lauderdale, and she said that she has been in the OR and has seen already hardening of the arteries in 2-year-olds when they've gone in to do surgery. So think about that. I mean, we think of this as an old person problem, and it's not. It's starting with when you're in childhood. So the image on the left, when we grow up, one of us will have one of us will get cancer, 1 out of 3 babies. Oh my goodness. And I looked up statistics, and from 1950 to 2020, there was a 40% increase in children being diagnosed with cancer. And then Dr. David Katz, again, children are being more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to alcohol, drugs, and tobacco combined. Due to poor diet, this generation of children has a shorter life expectancy than their parents. So why is this? What's going on? So the food quality of what we're eating is decreasing, and what we're eating is not good. So more than 50% of our diet is processed food. I've been to Disney numerous times, and I've seen kids in the, like walking around with Coke and whatever, like they're eating like grown adults. The thing that's also powerful too is the nutrition. If we are eating fruits and vegetables, a lot of that nutrition isn't there like it used to be in the 1950s. So broccoli, by the time we get it, could lose 50 to 80% of the key nutrients before we even purchase it. So how many do we need? I haven't had a chance to look at the chat, so I don't know what you guys put in there, but we need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. 7 to 9 for kids, depending on how old they are and how big they are. 9 is for women and 13 is for men. So I don't know about you guys, but we fall pretty short. I was just talking to somebody that yesterday I realized I think I'd only had 2 servings of fruits and vegetables during the day because I had a crazy day. And then last night, as an adult, we're going to do this. A kid isn't going to do this. I said, you know what, I'm going to have a veggie smoothie. And I call it everything but the kitchen sink. I started to throw everything in there. But as adults, I think we can make those choices, but as kids want the fun foods. They want to eat like their friends. And I think that's where we need to take the control as parents. So I don't know if this is anybody else's house. If you would have asked me, I have to think about this. probably 7 to 10 years ago, I would have told you that I was a rock star mother. My kids ate perfect. They were eating quinoa stuffed mushrooms and they were eating a variety of fruits and vegetables. And I was just like, man, I have crushed this. This is going great. And now I will tell you that my daughter's 14 and my son is 17. And now I think I have failed because my son especially has turned to the dark side, complete dark side. If I can get 2 to 3 servings of fruits and vegetables into him, it's a miracle. So I am so thankful for the information. I was so thankful years ago for the information that you guys are going to learn today. Whoops, let me go back. So this is where we are going to go to a different video. Move this to the bottom so I can see.
I know with my own kids, it's really hard for them to get vegetables every single day. I'm so thankful for Juice Plus.
I have 5 children, 4 of which were constantly playing sports. And I cannot tell you how many times we would run from school to a tennis match to a baseball game. And of course, there was always the drive-through. It's a struggle for most parents. And the opportunity to give kids fruits and vegetables in such an easy, yummy form. I kind of high-five myself every day when my son takes his Juice Plus. With Juice Plus, each day, I know that even if they don't have a good day and they don't eat their vegetables, that they're getting it through Juice Plus.
Not only are they getting it, but you can open up the conversation. You can explain you're eating this because it's fruits and vegetables, and this is why you should try other fruits and vegetables.
Just the other day, my daughter tried a new fruit she'd never tried.
Having the Tower Garden where my kids will pluck the lettuce and eat it.
And they get so excited because they just run out there and they're waiting to see, what can we harvest today, Mom?
Well, studies show that when children learn to grow their own food, that they eat more of it.
The cucumbers, they won't eat cucumbers from the store, but they'll eat cucumbers off the tower. And so it's made them much more excited about eating fruits and vegetables.
It's really so wonderful to have a farmer's market in your backyard.
Juice Plus products are really helpful for kids and for husbands that don't want to eat lots of fruits and vegetables. My husband started eating the capsules begrudgingly, and then he called me from Buffalo Wild Wings one day and asked why he wanted the celery on his plate. And so it's helped him to crave more fruits and vegetables. So I tell people, Juice Plus isn't just good for your kid. It's good for your husband's taste buds too.
Were you guys able to hear that? Okay.
It was low, but we were able to, turn it up. It was good.
Okay. All right. I always get concerned with the volume on that. Okay. So I wanted to include this in here because I saw this years ago and I thought this was fascinating. This was a study done, and this was an increase in omega-3s, and it was used to illustrate the change in the diet. Oxford Durham study results. And this is a 6-year-old child's handwriting before a change in diet, and then the 6-year-old child's handwriting after just 1 month of a change in diet, and it's with omega-3s. And if you guys, I know we're not going into a ton of detail of fruits and vegetables. We have fruits, vegetables, berries, and omegas. The fruits and vegetables are part of a children's health study program. And this is actually one of the things that I am so grateful for, is being able to get this nutrition into my family. I'll tell my story in just a second, but this is amazing. Imagine if just simple nutrition can help your child's brain. Our brain needs fat. Our brain is 60% fat and it needs the right kind of fat. So I want to tell my story about Juice Plus. So almost 18 years ago in May, I got pregnant earlier than that, but my best friend introduced me to Juice Plus, and I had always taken a vitamin. My mom was a nurse. I was adopted, but I grew up with allergies, asthma. I had migraines. I had digestive issues. I was constipated. I was a sick kid. I was on antibiotics a few times a year. I had pneumonia, bronchitis. It was bad, but I was told that this was genetic because my biological mother had it. There was nothing that I could do. And so when you're told it's genetic, you kind of just go, okay, and I used to get the allergy shots twice a week and all the allergy testing. And so I went until I was 35 years old. doing this and suffering and really never feeling my best. And when my best friend introduced me to this, I was like, all right, well, I've always taken vitamins and that hasn't done anything. So I got started with Juice Plus during my pregnancy, the beginning of the pregnancy. And by the end of the pregnancy, all of a sudden I realized that I hadn't needed, and I wasn't allowed to take the prescription, but I could have taken over the counter. I wasn't allowed to take that, but I didn't need the fruits and the vegetable. I mean, I didn't need, sorry, the allergy medication and the asthma medication. And what I had been afraid of during the whole pregnancy and worried about was that my kids were going to have the same health destiny that I did, since I had heard it was genetic, that they were going to have allergies and asthma and grow up with the same. But I was so glad that between the Juice Plus and learning through this community how to feed them and how to, we eat treats, and we certainly don't eat perfect by any stretch, but how a change in a diet can change your health outcome. So I'm so thankful to tell you that my kids at 14 and 17 years old don't have allergies and don't have asthma and don't get the migraines and the digestive issues that I did. So these Juice Plus Complete Shakes, I will tell you, hopefully you guys were reading this as I was talking. These are amazing. I started with shakes years ago when I started working out in my 20s, and you guys might be the same way. We hear protein, protein, protein. So I was drinking protein shakes, but I always felt terrible and I felt bloated and I just never felt good until I started with these shakes. I didn't realize that the whey was something that really bothered me. It also was a very cheap processed form of protein, but these are delicious. And I don't know in what world I would ever be putting into a blender on purpose all of these sprouts and ancient grains and mushrooms and all these different proteins, but this shake is delicious and my kids love it. My daughter's used it to fuel herself through gymnastics when she would have 4 hours of gymnastics practice. And now with volleyball, she does competitive volleyball. And then when my son was younger, the teacher at his daycare, it's kind of a funny story, used to call this poopy powder because I used to send it in for one of his snacks during the day instead of him having the goldfish or something else. And she said within 15 minutes he was pooping, and she hated it, but I loved it. This is, and all of these products, guys, I mean, while this is a children's, we're trying to focus on children's health, this is really about family health as well. And us as mothers, I know if you're like me, and I'm sure you are, we try to help, we will give for our children first, right? So if we have $20 and something costs, we're going to give it to our kids first. So, but I want you to realize that we actually have a program, we're going to talk about it, where we don't want the moms to go without, because if you have a healthy mom, you have a happy mom too. And we can't run the family and be at our best without that. And so one of the things, quite honestly, is going to be the Juice Plus Perform. This is an amazing new shake that came out. It's completely different than the Complete that we saw before. The Complete is more of a meal replacement. This is for working out. It's for energy. It's for muscle growth. It's for muscle recovery, energy, mental performance. And it's really great for people, even if you're not working out and you just want more plant-based protein during the day. That's what I did. I worked out this morning and I just drank, 2 scoops of this in some water, shook it up and drank it. And it's in a fruit fusion flavor. That's like a tongue twister for me. But it's delicious. I love what it's doing for my body. So bridging the gap, Juice Plus isn't meant to replace fruits and vegetables. We're supposed to eat as many fruits and vegetables as we can. We learned between 7 and 13. But as we also, know that we're just not able to do that. So Juice Plus helps us bridge the gap between what we are eating and what we should be eating. I want to talk a little bit about the research. Juice Plus, there's a few things that separate Juice Plus from other products on the market. And it is, we have an NSF certification, which is a National Sanitation Foundation certification, where they actually test our powders to make sure that they're safe for human consumption and no bacteria and herbicides and pesticides and lead and all the contaminants. And we have a nutrition label. So if you're taking a vitamin right now and you look at the label, more than likely it says supplement on it. Juice Plus actually has a food label. It says nutrition. And then the biggest, in my opinion, is the research. Research results have attracted thousands of doctors Dr. Richard Du Bois said there's nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. I mean, that's pretty powerful. It helps cardiovascular wellness. It strengthens your immune system. It reduces inflammation. We have research with children as well, done at the Nemours, I think that's how you say it, Children's Clinic in Jacksonville, with overweight boys who were insulin resistant. And at the end of 6 months, they're reduced abdominal fat mass and they were no longer pre-diabetic, which is pretty phenomenal. And I love that, you know, they were just taking the fruits and the vegetables. And that is actually published in the Journal of Pediatrics. So I'm going to show another video in just a minute, but this is research that our company chose to do. And this is what I say is that, you know, we want to make sure that the parent is healthy, just like the kids. So we have a Healthy Starts for Families program where parents can order Juice Plus for themselves, and then you can sponsor a child actually through undergrad and college. You know, and I love especially the college part, because I think I had probably 3 or 4 pieces of broccoli in between all the, you know, all the other fun foods in college. But look at these results after being on Juice Plus. You know, the kids are missing fewer days of school, especially if we work full time. When they miss school, we miss work. You know, they're drinking more water, they're consuming less fast food and soft drinks, they're eating more fruits and vegetables. Let me go to a second video really quickly. Hopefully really quickly.
Easy, especially when it comes to your child's health.
I can't hear it.
No audio, Karen.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold on.
Raising a healthy family can be
You hear
easier
it?
than you think. Imagine less forcing and more exploring. Juice Plus and our Healthy Starts for Families program encourage you and your loved ones to make simple changes that can turn into healthy habits for a lifetime. Families explore in a fun and easy way how they can eat better, move more, hydrate more, and get better sleep, making simple changes that do turn into healthy habits. We know it works because thousands of parents have told us. Through the Juice Plus Family Health Study, parents share their experiences and document their family's progress toward a healthier lifestyle, focusing on nutrition, fitness, hydration, and sleep. One easy change we recommend is taking Juice Plus capsules or chewables. Juice Plus fruit and vegetable blends are made from 20 different fruits and vegetables, along with selected vitamins and other plant ingredients. Adding our plant-based Juice Plus capsules or chewables to your family diet helps you and your children bridge the gap between what you should eat and what you do eat every day, with added nutrition from a variety of plant-based ingredients. Here's the best part. Parents or other adult relatives who become Juice Plus customers can enroll in the Family Health Study and get Juice Plus fruit and vegetable blend product free for their child, teenager, or college student for up to 4 years. Chewables for younger children, capsules for older. It can be your own child, a niece or nephew, grandchild, or godchild. Healthy starts at home and can last a lifetime. Juice Plus and our Healthy Starts for Families program helps you make simple but meaningful changes in diet and lifestyle that easily become part of your family's routine. Healthy Starts for Families. Inspire healthy living at home.
So I love that, because that's the company's focus, is getting the whole family healthy, not just the kids. And I will tell you, kids love those gummies, and so do adults. And so another product, our last product I want to talk about really quickly, that kids love, they love growing something and being able to see it grow and then eating it. My daughter was obsessed with cucumbers and tomatoes when she was younger. I mean, she would eat them before they were before they were ripened, but is our tower garden. And we could do a whole Zoom about the tower garden, but we can answer more questions afterwards. But this is a hydroponic, aeroponic growing system that you can put outdoors, indoors. There's a home version and there's a flex version. They're different, but they both grow phenomenal produce. I joke around that my tower garden grows despite me. Okay, so now I am super excited for you guys to hear other people's story. Let's go in alphabetical order. We'll start with Bridget.
Okay, hi guys. My name's Bridget. I live in Maryland, and we're actually gonna have like a Spring Lake day today too, Karen. So I'm excited. So it's funny you mentioned poopy powders. Is that what you call it? Because my husband loves the shakes, but he has to stay home or be somewhere where there's a bathroom with it at least an hour after that shake because it works well. That made me laugh. But anyway, I'm the mom of my husband, or not, my 3 girls who are 8, 10, and 14. And I used to think we were really healthy because, as a new mom, I knew like, don't give your kids or toddlers a lot of juice. So we didn't do juice, we didn't do soda, and we didn't do a lot of fast food or takeout. So in my book, that was like, check the box, we're healthy, we're doing well. But we were also in and out of the pediatrician's office with 3 kids constantly, not to mention myself getting sick and with sinus infections numerous times a year, allergy shots, in and out of the pharmacy, picking up prescriptions. And that was going on with my first 2. And then, throw in the baby, number 3, and I just didn't think I was going to survive it. So I had heard about Juice Plus from Jules, who's on here, but I was really stubborn about it and tried a bazillion other things first, and was still kind of stuck in that hamster wheel of constantly in and out of pediatrician's office. It was like somebody in our house was always sick. So my oldest at the time was probably 5, got the chewables for free from my dad because of the Healthy Starts for Families program. My dad started taking Juice Plus, was able to sponsor my daughter to get the gummies for free. And he just said, here, give these to her. They're really good for her. And I had already heard a little bit about Juice Plus. So I said, okay. And I didn't think a lot about it, but over time, I noticed that she was not getting all the things that were going around school anymore. Like all of our friends were the stomach bugs and the flu. And after a while, like those things weren't hitting our house. And I started to make the connection like, maybe there is something to this. So over time, I got all the girls, all of us actually on it. And, my middle daughter had eczema, and I wasn't even thinking, how what we were eating could affect even like skin conditions. That would never was a connection that I had made, but her eczema started to go away and never came back. And my youngest was plagued with ear infections. The poor child had so many ear infections as a baby and toddler. And after a few months, they stopped. And I was like, holy cow. So it was just this really like relief because one, I felt good that I was able to get this nutrition into my kids. And then on the other hand, we started to notice these little things that were happening. But along the way, I was getting smarter and plugging into events like this and learning that what I was feeding them, and they were supposed to have more fruits and veggies. So I was slowly starting to make those changes in our house too. And what's great about Juice Plus is over time, it starts to change what we crave and it changes your taste buds. So my girls were starting to like happily eat more fruits and vegetables. They weren't being so picky at the table. And they're not perfect still, but they were open to it. And over time as a family, we were eating better foods and, drinking more water and little things like that. So we went from like being in the pediatrician's office constantly to my pediatrician at one point saying to me, I miss you guys. And, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So of course I had to tell her all about Juice Plus, but it's been a real relief. And then as a mom, I was home with all of my girls And my friends were starting to see this, and we were talking about illness, and my kids weren't getting sick. So I just naturally, was letting my friends try the gummies and telling them about it. So it just kind of turned into this, this mission and this other passion that I had, where I started sharing it with others too. And it was great because I could do it from home. I could be home with the girls. I could, share it with other moms who were frustrated looking for solutions as well. So it's been a great addition to all of our lives.
I love that. And I think that until you start getting better, you don't realize how much nutrition plays a part in all of that. Okay, Debbie, I know you have a powerful story too. These stories are so good, you guys.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Debbie DeJesse, and I am a retired registered nurse. My story with Juice Plus begins with the granddaughter who was 11 at the time that we took in for a year because she was really struggling academically. And since I was working a flexible schedule at the time, we said that we could try and help her with her significant academic challenges. As a nurse, I kind of think in holistic terms, and I loved what the video said about health affects learning. So the first thing that I think is, okay, what are the obvious things that could be impacting her ability to read or focus? So let's get her eyes tested. Let's get her ears tested, her hearing tested. And when she came to us at the age of 11, a lot of her dietary habits have been already established. And unfortunately, they weren't all that healthy. And I thought that it was very strange that her mom would say one of the challenges is we have to get this medication in her every day, because if not, she'll end up in the hospital again. Well, she had such bad chronic constipation that she was on Metamucil every single day, and it had been 2 years. And despite that, she had been hospitalized, not just ER, but overnight hospitalized because of potential bowel obstructions, because of the problems with her digestion. And she didn't like to eat anything that didn't come from a drive-through or a box. There was essentially no fruits and vegetables, and what there were was few and far between. Ketchup and French fries don't count for veggies. So I met Karen, and I was seeking something that would help her with her digestion. So we started with the shakes, and that wasn't even necessarily an easy transition because it didn't taste like other things she was used to. So she was very reticent to try new stuff. I picked my battles. We try to sneak things into other foods to get them in, and I figured the end result was better. So I found that she liked Oreo shakes, cookies and cream. So I would put one thin Oreo cookie in a vanilla shake, and she was okay with that. So, okay, I think the benefit outweighed the risks. And she started drinking those and stopped needing to take the other medications. Also interesting is I like to read labels. And if you read the label of Metamucil, one of the side effects is long-term constipation because it's a rebound effect. I know, because your body adapts to things. So one, being on something for 2 years shouldn't be normal. Two, it's well known that if you have digestive problems and toxins stay in the colon long term, it puts you at higher risk for colon cancer. So those are just long-term things to think about. But the fact that we were able to get her to try that was amazing. And you don't feel well if you physically aren't feeling well. You can't concentrate and you can't do academics. So it really made a huge difference. An unexpected side effect was I ended up having major neck surgery shortly after that. And I didn't really appreciate the benefits to me because I thought I ate great. I never had a weight problem. I ate fruits and vegetables. So I didn't really appreciate what it could do to me, or for me. But when I had my neck surgery, I said, oh, well, I've got this stuff at my house and I know that it's good because I've looked into it. So I needed a supplement to my regular diet because I couldn't swallow with a paralyzed vocal cord. So I started taking the shakes and the gummies because my normal diet wasn't an option. And the unexpected changes that I started noticing from what I thought was a healthy diet were miraculous and life-changing, and I would never go back. So I'm so very grateful for that unexpected benefit. Another thing is, so Summer's doing well. I have 8 more grandchildren under the age of 7. currently. And recently we went to Disney, and just a cute little story is I put some of the chocolate shakes in my bag, the individual packets. We spent the whole day at Disney with my kids and my grandkids, and they started getting cranky in the afternoon because, you know, all the excitement and the adrenaline and everything. And it was that one cold weekend we have in Florida for the winter. So we got hot water and we made hot cocoa with the chocolate. And my kids were amazed that their children didn't get the hangries in the late after, you know, the early evening, and they weren't demanding as many of the snacks because they were sated, they were full. The protein in the shakes helped stabilize their blood sugar. So that was also an excellent unintended benefit, and something that we can do to adapt when we're on the run, as you will be, you know, if you're going on vacation or you're not in your normal circumstance. So thank you for letting me share, but I've had so many benefits from so many people. And I will say that husbands also are included. I started giving them to my husband and saying, just take these, don't ask. And he was compliant with it. And he's got a whole other story about all the positive benefits. So the products are amazing. Thanks for letting me share.
Oh my gosh, I could listen to that story over and over and over again. And I had no idea the Metamucil, isn't that, gosh, the side effect is, I mean, yeah, if we can change health through lifestyle, that's what we need to do first, right? Medication is there for a reason, but as a last resort. Okay, Michelle, I know you have a phenomenal story too. I just have like constant chills going up and down my arms with you guys and your stories.
I do. And just hearing all of your stories, I mean, I can relate to so many of you. So Karen, you talked about your son now going wild as a teenager, and I feel that's my daughter. She's now in the teenage stage. And I have been using, we have all been taking Juice Plus now for 11 years. So they started on it when my son was 14 months and my daughter was 3 years old. Now they are 12 and 14. So they have grown up with this nutrition. And I will say when they're younger, it's easier to get it in their bodies and have them eat with more intention because you're in more control. But as they get older, you know, they go a little wild. And so I'm so grateful for Juice Plus and for knowing that it helps to bridge the gap on days where I'm like, what did you eat? You know, because we live such fast-paced lives as they're older and more active. And so I love that also Bridget mentioned that she thought they were healthy, because that was exactly where I came from too. I was like, oh, we don't do juice, we don't do this. We eliminated all these things, but the real question was how many fruits and vegetables were we getting in our diet? And back when I first heard of Juice Plus, I thought that eating 3 to 4 servings a day was like amazing. I thought I was doing so well. And so now I've just learned so much from this community, and I'm truly thankful for this information and what it's done. So at 14 months, my son was this super picky eater. He would not eat vegetables no matter how small. I diced them up and put them in his food. And he was constantly sick, and I knew they were correlated. I knew that he was probably sick a lot because he wasn't getting in really good nutrition or not even getting in any vegetables. So I was really grateful for a mom sharing Juice Plus with me. I had been going to a holistic pediatrician for 3 years at that time. And my holistic pediatrician had Juice Plus plastered in every room in his office, but he only mentioned it once when my daughter was really young, and he didn't tell me what it was really. So it was kind of brushed off, but I was really thankful for the day I met this mom who shared it with me. And I was like, I need this, like for my son. I didn't think I needed it. I thought I was doing great, but I knew he needed it. And so we started on it because of my son. And within 2 months, this picky eater who was constantly sick, I noticed immediately that he hadn't been sick for 2 months. And I was like, wow, that's new, because he used to be sick 3 weeks out of every month. It was insane. And then around the 2-month mark, he started picking up broccoli, like a whole floret, and eating it. And I used to always have vegetables on their plate at dinner, but he would avoid them. And it was just amazing to see that he started to eat them all on his own. And by then he was 16 months old. The next day I had cabbage. He was eating cabbage. Now, mind you, he might've got some of that picky eating from me because I didn't eat broccoli until my late 20s, and cabbage I didn't eat until I got pregnant for the first time. I hated cabbage like so much, but when I got pregnant, I craved cabbage, crazy enough. So, some of my bad habits probably were in his bloodline, I'm sure. But I'm so glad that with this nutrition, concentrated nutrition, we can break some of those generational habits that we've had over time. And I'm just really grateful for the fact that I can change that with my children. So they've grown up seeing us eat these fruits and veggies. They're very important in this household. And then even just constantly reinforcing how important it is to get more fruits and veggies in. Now, they are at that rebellious stage where they feel like they know everything, but I'm not even really that worried, because I know once they get a little older and they calm down, they're going to realize that mommy was telling them the right thing all along, and they will go back to what they learned, because that's what I did. There's so many things our mothers used to say to us when we were younger, right? And then we're like in our 20s and we're like, oh my gosh, we're like our mom. So I know we've planted the seeds. Juice Plus has helped to bloom those seeds. And this month is actually Black History Month. And for the first time ever, the theme of Black History Month is health and wellness, which totally warms my heart. But one of the statistics I wanted to share with you is the fact that Black children have a significantly higher occurrence of all health issues or health conditions than any other race. So for me, this is so important, because I know I want to break some of these generational curses that have occurred within my bloodline. There's a lot of health issues that run in my family. And so I want to be able to pass down good health along with so many other things. But honestly, we all know that if you don't have your health, you really don't have much. So our health is our wealth. And so sharing this message alongside these ladies is just amazing. And I love how we get to inspire healthy living around the world. I have a background in IT, but now I've been sharing this message for as long as I've been using the product, because I know what it's done for my family, and I've been able to change hundreds of people's lives through this nutrition. So not only should you just take a look at maybe incorporating this with your children, yourself, because put yourself first. We have to do more self-care as moms. And also consider sharing this message, because I feel like it's so important. If there was ever a time that we needed to hear the health message, it is right now. Well, it was 2 years ago, but even more right now. So thank you for having me, Karen.
Oh, I love that. And I love that sharing this, amazing product and living this mission and inspiring healthy living in others has actually been able to keep some of us at home. So I'm going to go to a couple of different slides. As I mentioned before, we're in this awesome community, and some of us are customers, but some of us have joined the mission to be able to share with others, because we just have seen so many amazing benefits in our own families that we can't keep it to ourselves. It's no different than when you go see a good movie or you go to a good restaurant and you go, oh my gosh, you have to try this. It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same thing. I'm not going to read these bullet points. You guys can read these. I'm going to kind of tell you my short little story that I was working full time in corporate America. I went to college. I thought that's what you do. I didn't know there was an alternative, that I could stay at home and do something else. And it wasn't until, and I was skeptical because my mom was a nurse and I just am a skeptic by nature. And so after I got started on the product and my health had really transitioned so much with the, no more allergies and no more asthma, no more antibiotics in 18 years, right? In May, it's going to be 18 years, that all of a sudden I found myself telling people, and I didn't expect to do that. And so my friend was like, oh my gosh, well, you should join our company. And I was like, I don't know. But I did, because I couldn't help but tell some of my friends about this. And I had no idea that within a few years, I would be able to quit my full-time job. Let me go to the next slide for you guys. I'd be able to quit my full-time job and I'd be able to be the mom that I had always wanted to be. Not everybody wants to be a stay-at-home mom, but my mom was a nurse. I said that before, but she took off for several years while we were in school and then went back to nursing when we were in high school, went back to working full-time. And but I've been able to stay at home with my kids. I've been able to be homeroom mom. I can take them to, I can go see their honor awards when they're getting those. I can take them on the field trip, right? I get to be the chaperone for the field trip. I've also been able to be there with both of my parents while they were sick and dying, unfortunately. It has just given me the time freedom and the financial freedom, because my husband, with me quitting in the beginning, I wasn't making a ton of money, but I was supplementing all of our product plus some and paying for, car payments. And he was working 2 jobs. Well, now I am paying the mortgage, all the bills, and plus some. So I love that I've taken that financial stress off of him. I still want him working. Don't get me wrong. I still want him working and bringing in that money. But it's nice to know. And how many people in 2020, when all of a sudden the country shut down and they didn't have a job, could have used some extra income? They could have used even another $300 or $500 to make a car payment or something. So again, sharing this isn't difficult. We're not anybody's boss. You just kind of share this as you live life. And a lot of it's done on social media also. So if you thought of anybody while, during this presentation, like, oh my gosh, my Aunt Mary, or oh my gosh, my neighbor with her kids that are sick all the time, talk to the person that invited you and let's have a discussion to see if it's something that's for you. I don't know if it is or not, but why not? So let me stop sharing. And let me turn off the recording. First of all, let me thank you guys everybody for coming on. I so appreciate everybody's time. If you want to stay on, we can have a conversation about teenagers going to the dark side. I think my friend called it the age of defiance. It's just what they do, but I do think they're going to come back to, to the foundation of health one day. But let me stop the recording and then we can talk if you guys want.